What is going on, you guys? Oh, we got all kinds of people here. This is so exciting. I'm super, super, super pumped to do this training for you guys today, this free class. So here we are, right? We're using Facebook Live to talk about Facebook Live. It's very meta, but it's also just one of those things I wanted to do. So this is going to be super great. I want to give some shout outs really quick. We've got Anna here, Rachel's here, we got Gay Nation here, Annie's here, Christine, Melinda. Melinda, I love it. She says, I hope to stay on for the entire session, but I'm sanitizing business showroom today. Melinda, I get it. I feel you. And thank you for doing that. That's fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. So Rachel says she's joining unplanned, but she appreciates all the educational nuggets. Well, Rachel, I'm so glad you're here today. So this will be great. Christine, she says she's ready to soak up some knowledge. Christine, I'm pumped that you're here as well. And Annie is here on time today. So here's what's really cool about live videos is that if you don't catch the live broadcast, which many people don't when we go live, you can always catch the replay because it will automatically publish to your page if you want it to. Now, you also can take it down. You don't have to. It just depends on what your usage is. So today, you guys, we are going to talk about some really great things. So Facebook Live is our topic today. We're going to talk about why it's important that you embrace Facebook Live in your strategy. I mean, this can't be new news to you, right? This can't be new news that we need to be using Facebook Live as much as possible. But maybe you're still not quite there. Maybe there's a few reasons why you've not fully embraced it. And if you are there, that's fine, okay? That's why I want to teach this class because Facebook Live is great. I think it's super impactful in our businesses. I know I have experienced a lot of great results because of Facebook Live, and I'm going to share some of the reasons with you here in a moment. But if you're still kind of like, I want you to give yourself a little bit of a grade here on your Facebook Live. Either A, you've never done it at all. So if you've never done it at all, just say never gone live. If you kind of have dabbled in it a little bit, but you're not really consistent or you're not really using it strategically, then I want you to say dabbled in the comments. And then if you feel like you are a regular and you're going live all the time, fairly consistently, then I want you to say regular, right? I'm a regular. And then if you're somebody who is, probably a regular, but you're like really ready to up level it a little bit, you've maybe watched some of my live broadcasts and you're kind of like, how does she do that? How in the world does she do that thing? Why? How is that thing up there on top? Then I want you to say ready to go pro. Okay, that's what I want you to say. So let me know where you guys are so I can kind of check it out. I see that we also have Tyler and Melody here as well. So hello to you guys. And Cynthia's here too. So Rachel says, too long, she's dabbled. She's dabbled. Annie says she's a rookie. Okay, very good. So you guys are all here for sure. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Now, if you are inside of my Facebook community, DIY Marketing with Melanie, because I'm actually going live in two places today. So I am what's called simulcasting or multicasting. So I'm actually live on my business page, just so anyone can come take this free class. And then I'm also live inside of my private Facebook community called DIY Marketing with Melanie. It's a free community. You're obviously welcome to join if you're not part of that community, but it's essentially a bunch of people who are learning to do their own marketing. And we have a lot of fun in there and we help each other out. And so some of you guys are watching in there. And so if you are watching inside that private community, do me a favor. And in that post description, you should see that little Streamyard link that will let me see who you are and your name, or else this is what I see and what everyone else will see when I pull your comment up. Now, if you haven't done that yet, you might have to refresh the screen and come back into the broadcast for it to actually take through. So that's what I would say. So if you're in that community, go ahead and do that. Just a little bit of a housekeeping thing there. So I see we've got a couple more dabblers here. Anna says she's done live twice, so she's a dabbler. Yeah, and I'll call you a dabbler. That's okay. Cynthia says she's doing a lot more live videos with Streamyard. Yes, and that is the tool that I am using today. I am going live using an application called Streamyard. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as well. Jason's here. He says he's gone live weekly since you challenged us on to do so, regular but ready to go pro. Jason, that's very exciting. Yes, Jason was part of a presentation I did a while back, and I'm going to talk about some of those things in this presentation too, but we're going to talk a little bit more specific about the types of live videos that will get you the most engagement, which of course is going to get you, help you grow your audience, which we all want to be growing our audience, right? We have to be growing at all times, for sure. Christine says she's a dabbler, only one time. Okay, well that's okay. So very good. So we've got a nice array of people here today, which is fantastic. Now, so today I'm going to give you guys, like I said, we're going to talk about why Facebook Live is important, and I'm going to talk about the 5 types of Facebook Live videos that get the most engagement, which of course, like I said, will get you bigger results. Now we'll talk about that in detail. And then I do have something, a really great opportunity I want to offer to you guys that we'll talk about at the end. So please try to stay on all the way, or come back if you have to, take a phone call, or if you're sanitizing a showroom and you're multitasking a little bit, definitely come back, because I've got a really, really fun offer for you guys that I want to make sure that you guys know about at the end of this training today that I've got for you. So now, before I get started, I am going to tell you guys something kind of crazy. Okay, so this is crazy. So this is actually what I'm teaching you guys today. I had prepared some really great slides with some awesome examples and all this stuff. It's a modification of a presentation I've done in the past. It had a lot more detail in these specific engagement types of videos. Okay, transparency. I'm pretty technologically savvy. I'm not great with vocabulary. I like to make up words, but I'm pretty good at technology. And I mean, I'm like good to go with all of it. So I have been working on this PowerPoint. I kind of started really modifying it, really beefing it up over the weekend. And then I'm finishing putting final touches on it today. Okay, this morning, because I'm kind of a last minute person, right? So one of those. And would you believe that about 5 minutes before this broadcast was supposed to start, my PowerPoint file will not open and is now corrupt. So, so I quickly scrambled and I pulled an older presentation, it's all the same stuff, made some quick modifications to it. So I'm going to let you know that now, because I'm just being transparent. I'm one of those super honest people, right? But I also I didn't want to cancel or reschedule this class, because I can still talk about this stuff till I'm blue in the face. I'm just not going to have all the fun visuals that I really wanted to show you guys, but I think you'll be just fine. You're going to still learn a ton. We're going to have fun. Please ask questions as we go throughout. I will absolutely be doing a Q&A as well when I'm done with going through the materials. So sound good. So this is what's crazy. All right. Here, literally, I had that moment. My heart was like palpitating, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, first of all, I haven't had a file go corrupt on me, and I'm not even sure the last time it happened, to be really honest with you. But I will tell you that when it happens, it does always seem to be a PowerPoint file for whatever reason. So, but it is what it is. So I'm going to just say that maybe that PowerPoint wasn't good enough, and I needed to revise it anyway. But I'm going to fix my blur here. I got an autofocus there. I'm a little bit crisper. How about that? I just noticed that I was just a little blurry for you guys. For some reason, my camera was not fully focusing on me. So I literally had a couple of options. And the reason I'm telling this story is because I think that when we do live video, it can feel really terrifying, and it can feel really overwhelming, and it can create a lot of anxiety because it is live. And I will tell you that I had that moment today. I was like, are you kidding me? How? And I just, you know what? You roll with it though. And here's what I will tell you. Had this happened to me 3-4 years ago when I was kind of first using live video, I probably would have canceled the live or done something. But I've done enough live video now that it's like, you know what? We're going to work on this. We're going to make this work. And when you know your content, you know your content. And so you just got to keep pushing forward. And so I don't know if that is going to motivate anybody today, but I thought, you know what? I just want you to know, even I have tech glitches, or even I have little weird things that happen. And I know that people tend to think that I've got this, oh, well, she can do all this stuff because she's super tech savvy and whatnot. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get started. So I see that Micah said he logged in this time. Fantastic. I love that I can see your face and your name, Mr. Maxwell. Okay, so we have just a couple ground rules. These aren't really like required, of course, because you're going to do what you want to do. You might be watching in your pajamas today. I don't care. That's fine too. But I do want you to try to stay focused, because I am going to go through and I'm going to teach you some stuff. So I want you to close out your other browsers, your email. Try not to be multitasking. Go ahead and silence your phones so that you just can be here and be with us and be present. And I also want you to comment as much as possible because that will help me see that you're still engaged. It helps me feel like I'm not talking to a wall or a webcam, and I know that you're here. And also, as I said, please, 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 feel free to ask questions. This is absolutely a class. Think of yourself in a classroom with me, just sitting out wherever you're sitting, whether you're on your phone or at your computer, somewhere at home, most likely, or maybe back, slowly getting back into the office. But ask questions for sure, because no differently than if you'd raise your hand and ask questions during an actual session. So let's get started, shall we? First, I should probably talk a little bit about why I'm here to talk about Facebook Live. And, one, I love going live. I have been going live since I had the actual capability in 2016. So Facebook started doing beta testing, I think in 2015 with a select user group, and then they rolled it out to everyone in 2016. And so I actually started going live early on. In fact, that picture down at the bottom is me like forever ago doing one of my very first Facebook Lives. And so I've been going live since the platform started. So I've seen not only the evolution and the changes that Facebook has gone through with the actual Facebook Live feature, but I've also been able to see and take advantage of all the different technologies that have been introduced. Because when Facebook Live first came out, it was kind of like, you had to use your phone and you had to go vertical, meaning hold your phone portrait mode, and your video was only square format, and it was just very, very, very simple. And then they added things like pulling someone on to do you could have two people on screen at the same time as long as you're on your mobile. Then they took that feature away, and so now you can't do that unless you use a third-party application. And they've just kind of slowly changed features and changed capabilities. You couldn't go live in a Facebook group at first. Now you can go live inside your Facebook group. All kinds of stuff. So I've been going live and I've seen all the evolution, but I've also seen the impact it can make in your business. And so here you can see that not only have I gone live a million times and I've done all kinds of different types of videos, you can see this variety, if you will. I've done a couple of blitzes where I've gone live every day in a month, and I've seen great results when I've done that. It is one of those things that you have to plan for sure. But so you can see that I've done all kinds of live videos where I've brought my kid on. I've done live videos from my office, from my house. I've been on scene fishing, literally caught that fish on live video. You can see the excitement in my face. And I've even done live videos in the kitchen, as you can see up there, talked about going live, and I actually talked about cooking and some other things too. And of course, like I said, my kiddo likes to make a little introduction sometimes into my live videos. So all kinds of different videos, all kinds of different variety of show types. I've had guests on, and I've seen the results. And I wanted to make sure that I offer up the opportunity to everyone to get convinced that you've got to embrace live video. It is a massive, massive, massive opportunity for your business. And it is, while I don't believe in the saying that social media is free, because it does take time, it does take effort, it takes brain power. Nothing is really free in this world, but it is absolutely very economically friendly for a person to use to grow their reach, grow their audience, and to connect with people. And I've got a couple examples and some stories for you, of course, that I'll share with you to talk about that. But, obviously social media is important. We know that there's a bunch of people on social media. We're on social media right now talking about social media. So obviously you all know that. But these are just some stats that I found really interesting, especially in regards to the video stats. There's just a lot of video out there. And there's a reason for that. It's because it works. But here's the other thing. All of this data is old because honestly, it's probably completely different now because of the pandemic that we've gone through. More people are online now. More people are actually using live video. I'm seeing more businesses embrace live video. And the consumer itself and our user is getting used to this social media content. So I think these stats are old. They are actually fresh, but obviously there's been a pandemic in the last few months and some things have changed. So the point is that now is the time. If you're not using and having Facebook Live in your strategy, now is the time to actually make this work. This is a window. People expect it, and they want to see more of you. They are thriving for connection. So, but here's the other thing I wanted to say, because some people don't believe in, Facebook, that, well, can you really sell on Facebook, and can you really use Facebook to, get people to buy your products or services? And the answer is this: not just Facebook, but it is absolutely a big piece of your strategy, and it should be a large piece of your strategy. And so 78% of Americans have discovered products to buy on Facebook. That number still kind of blows my mind. That is like almost everybody. So basically almost everyone has said that they discovered a product or service through some sort of Facebook content. Now, this could be because they saw somebody else posting about it, they saw a business post about their own stuff, or they just, like I said, virtual word of mouth. They saw people talking about it and they were like, whoa, what's that? I'm interested in that. Some of you, for example, maybe discovered me or this class because somebody else recommended it to you, right? So there you go. I mean, again, this is 78% is almost everybody. So I just thought that stat was important so that we can all be on the same page, that Facebook is a place where we should probably be making sure that our businesses are healthy and we're engaging and connecting with people so that we can take advantage of that. And that is key right there. The other thing, why videos though? Because obviously Facebook content, there's just posts you can make and whatnot, but video is really something that you should focus on if you want to get the biggest bang for your efforts, because videos do earn the highest rate of engagement despite only making up 3% of the content. Now, again, this stat is a little bit out of date because I got this stat prior to the pandemic. I don't have new stats because they just aren't available yet, because this is all still crazy time and things are nuts. And so, but I'm going to guess that is a little bit higher, okay? But it's only 3%. So if videos are some of the most engaging parts of our content that we can create, but only 3% of the actual Facebook content in our news feeds, or the actual 3% of the content in Facebook is video, then this tells me that this is a huge opportunity for you to stand out, okay? It's a huge opportunity for you to stand out because there's not enough people using video. So you will stand out. Now, let's talk about Facebook Live. I just told you that videos get the highest rate of engagement. But of videos, Facebook Live videos get 6 times as many interactions, which is engagement, as a regular video. So I just explained that videos get the highest engagement. Only 3% of the content is video. Facebook Live, it's like a superpower, okay? It's like, seriously, it is like engagement on steroids. It's content on steroids when it comes to the engagement factor. So, some of the reasons are because it's just more interesting to watch a live broadcast and it makes you want to interact. And, there are other people on there interacting while you're interacting. And so it's all live and it's timely and it's kind of that thing. And it just creates a spark. There's just something of extra interest that's created when you do a Facebook Live video. And so, it's huge, right? But it's like, you might be saying like, well, okay, Melanie's talking about increased engagement, organic reach, and all these other things. And like, why does this really matter? Well, let me explain why it matters. It matters because people are on a journey with you. So I'm actually going to bring myself on screen here because it's that important. I want you to be here, focused with me. So people are on a journey with you before they buy your product. People do not just hear about a product and buy a product unless you're in something like, literally, unless you're like a plumber where they have an emergency and they are literally like, find me a plumber right now to come fix my toilet. They are like, boom, they discovered you because they searched for you. There you are. You're the first number on the list and they call you, right? That's a little bit different. I don't think I have any plumbers watching right now. If I do, give yourself a shout out. But what we're developing with our social media is we're developing relationships. Okay, so you want to get people to learn about you and discover you, but then you need to keep them interested. You need to educate them. You need to take them on a journey or be a part of their buying journey, whatever unique journey that is. Because people are not necessarily going to be needing or ready to buy your products or services when they first discover you. So, you've got to be able to keep in touch with them And so engagement is one of the ways that they kind of stay in touch with you. Engagement also affects how you show up in the algorithms, or how the algorithms affect how you show up in the news feeds. And so the more engagement you get, which means you have your content is quality, and the algorithms feel and see the engagement and the likes and the interactions, that tells them, hey, this person is of quality. We're gonna make sure that we keep them and we show their stuff. If your content is either non-existent, or it's always salesy and promotional, or it's just crap, then the engagement's going to be down, and nobody's even going to discover you. And so I always say the customer journey goes through these phases: discovery, research, opportunity, contract, which is when they become a customer, and then advocacy. And so what your content does is it nurtures them along the journey, because when they first discover you, they need to check you out for a while before they decide, hey, I want to go into their store, or hey, I want to enroll in that program, or hey, I want to hire her as a coach or a consultant or whatever. And so people need that time. And so I know that we have Gay Nations on here. We have Tyler on here as well. And, they are part of a nursing home. They are marketing and development for a nursing home. That may be the wrong term for it, but that's what it is to me. So I may know about that nursing home. Well, in my life right now, I don't know anyone in my family that needs a nursing home. But because they're active in our community, and because they're involved and they do certain things and they're around, they stay kind of top of mind. So when I am ready, right, when I get to that point where I might be ready for that service, then I'm going to think of them, because they've also maybe been helping me with some information about how to prepare for certain things or how to get ready for that stuff. And so you have to think about your audience, and you have to think about where they are in the journey, and your content, staying engaged with them, is how they go on that journey with you. And so the reason why all this matters is because, like I said, Facebook Live is one of the best ways to stay connected with your people. And all that engagement is going to increase your organic reach. And unless you want to be spending a ton of money on Facebook ads, we want to get organic reach. And so all those stats I just shared with you matter, because Facebook Live is one of the most engaging, organic ways that you can create content to connect with your people. Okay? I will tell you right now, I really don't use ads. I really don't use Facebook ads. It's definitely something I will be embracing as I move a little bit further into this year. But for the most part, I stay pretty organic. And there's a couple of reasons I do that. I do that because I like to know what works and what doesn't work. And I think that the organic stuff we do is some of the most telling stuff we do. So for example, what I mean, so if I go create a piece of content and it performs really, really well organically, then it's probably going to perform fairly well as an ad too, right? So when I'm spending money, I want to make sure I'm going to spend money on things that are going to work. So I'm still in that sort of experimental phase, but really I like to stay organic, because also a lot of you are organic and need to be organic too, meaning you're not spending a ton of money on your Facebook stuff. Also, if we can do stuff that works and we don't have to spend a bunch of money on it, hello, right? Facebook Live is one of those things. So I wanted to make sure that I explain that to you so that we could talk about it. Let me get back to our slides. So what our ultimate goal here with all of our social media content and what we're doing is it's the like, know, and trust factor. We want to put as much of ourselves out there as possible so people can make a decision of whether or not they like us. And then we want to let our content help them get to know us, right? Because then when it comes to making a purchase decision, if they trust us, then they're going to purchase from us or come into our store, or make a phone call to have that conversation and get a demonstration or get a quotation from you, whatever it might be. So for example, we have Anna Nelson on here. Okay, I'm going to put Anna Nelson on the spot. Anna Nelson is a coach. She actually will help you with your StrengthsFinder results, and she'll help you apply certain things so that you can take your strengths and do the best with it, especially if you're an entrepreneur, right? So take your strengths instead of focusing on trying to change your weaknesses. Well, let's focus on your strengths and let those help you build a great business that you love, right? Because you're using your strengths. Well, if I heard about that from Anna, just like all you heard about that from Anna, it's interesting, but would you literally go pay her right now? Would you go call, pay right now? No, you need to get to know her a little bit first, and then you need to trust her before you actually were to hire her as your coach, right? And so that's kind of one of those processes. So we got to decide if somebody's a good fit for us, right? And not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. Okay. I want you to be okay with that. And then the people who do like you, they're going to get to know you, and then they're going to eventually trust you, which will help them make a more informed, better decision, because we want people to trust us, and our content is how we do that. So for sure. So I am going to go ahead and say that hilarious. Christine's husband is a plumber. So love it. Christine, I love it. Your husband's buyer's journey is much shorter than most people's. I will tell you that. It's a quick decision. That like, know, and trust is a super fast process. And it has a lot more to do with whether people come back or not. So Anna, I see your question. I will definitely come back to that for sure. So to let you know, I see it and I will come back. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So a lot of people tell me that one of the reasons they don't go live is because they don't really know what they're going to do with their live videos. They're kind of like, what would I even say on live video? What would I do? And so I'm actually going to go through the 5 types of live videos, okay, that are the most engaging. These are some of the most engaging types of videos you can create that will also help you drum up some ideas, all right? These will also help you drum up some ideas. So, all right, so we're going to jump in and talk about the best, my favorite types of live videos. This is the part of my presentation that I don't have the fun visuals that I was hoping to have for you. So bear with me, okay? Bear with me. We're here. We're going to get through this. All right. So the first type of video that is really, really great, and honestly, for the most part, probably some of the best types of videos you can create is by showing somebody how to do something. In a way, this exact live video that you are watching is me educating you, okay? So when I say show somebody how to do something, it's really teach me something, like educate people, teach them something, right? So this could be, you could be teaching somebody how to assemble a product. You could be teaching somebody how to, you could teach them a tutorial. Like you could literally go through like an actual process and teach them how to do something. You could teach them a strategy, which is what I'm teaching, right? Anna, for example, she could go through the different strengths and explain what the strengths are. She could do a demonstration on how to take the Strengths Finder quiz, right? So teaching people how to do something. This is one of the best ways that you can actually create a video. And so I love there's a guy who, I'm not sure if he's watching or not. His name's John Mitchell, and he owns a coffee shop. And I'm going to bring him up a couple times because he's just super fresh in my mind. But he also is somebody who was doing no live video before. He has recently embraced live video, and he has seen great results, but he's just doing a lot of these different things that I'm going to talk to you about. And he's just having such good results, but he's also having a lot of fun doing it. And so John Mitchell owns a coffee shop called Zateo Coffee, and it's in Arkansas. But anyway, he recently did a video where, some videos where he was at home and he was teaching people how to do a home brew. Like, here's how to properly measure and grind your coffee. We have a local coffee shop here that was doing some similar videos as well, teaching people, hey, you're brewing at home now, but I want you to buy my coffee, by the way, that I can ship to you. Hint, hint. But I'm going to teach you how to properly brew it so you can brew the best cup of coffee at home. So that's him teaching us how to do something, right? I had another friend owns a sweeper store, vacuums. They sell vacuums. And she was doing a demonstration and teaching how to change out the bag on this it was a fairly high-end bag, which, by the way, fun fact for y'all, and I know this because of the educational videos that I watch on their page, they actually taught me that the bagless vacuums don't have the same suction power as the bag vacuums. They're convenient because you just unattach that thing, you dump it out, and you stick it back on, and you don't have to buy new bags, but they don't have the same suction power as the bag vacuums. So anyway, she actually did a demonstration and showed us very quickly how to change the bag. And basically this empowered us to be like, oh, I can do that. That's easy, right? And so that's an example of teaching somebody how to do something. But so if you can teach people how to use your products, great. But let's go back to John. John owns a coffee shop. He really wants people to come in and buy his really delicious boutique coffee. But he also sells coffee beans. So naturally, of course, he wants people to come into the coffee shop. But naturally, he also wants people to buy the coffee because they can buy the coffee from anywhere in the country. But he naturally wants them to get the best out of that coffee. So he's teaching them how to do something that in some ways you could look at as a competition to his coffee shop, right? But it's not. He's teaching them how to do something so they can get the best usage out of his product. That is some of the best types of educational live videos you can do. Now, back to the question, well, Melanie, couldn't I just do a video like that, and just record it, and it would be so easy because I would just record it and it'd be so much more comfortable and upload it. Remember, Facebook Live videos get 6 times, if not more, engagement than a regular uploaded pre-recorded video. We want to be interactive. And the other thing that you can do when you're interactive is you can answer questions, which takes me to the next type of, to the next type of Facebook Live, which is a live Q&A, a live question and answer. Okay, so this is where you would actually answer questions during a live video. So you might say, you could have people post these questions during the live. Like we have a couple questions here that I will be coming back to and answering on this live video, right? So I like to do this a couple ways. One, I like to let people know that I'm going live ahead of time and that I'm doing a live Q&A. I like to let them have a way to gather questions ahead of time so that I have them in case for whatever reason people aren't able to show up to the live video. Especially as you get started with live video, you might find that your viewership is, from a quantity standpoint, is a little bit down or not down, just lower as you get started. It will grow as you do more video. But when you're getting started, sometimes it's hard to get those questions on the live video because your viewership is just getting started and getting to know you as a live broadcaster. So I like to gather those questions ahead of time. And then I like to also give people an opportunity to ask questions during the live. Now, I will say this is a pro tip. As you grow, and you start gathering these questions, if you get to a point where you're like, holy crap, we get so many questions, I can't go live for 2 hours. Well, then that's a great problem to have. So you at that point may not take questions during a live broadcast. You may require that they submit them early and you may have a little cutoff, right? So, but most of you, as you get started, you probably won't run into that issue. You could, but most of you probably won't. So I like to do a combination. I like to let people provide their questions ahead of time. And then I like to also take questions during the actual live broadcast. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Holy crap, what if I get asked a question I can't answer? Don't sweat it. Just be honest and say, you know what? I really am not exactly sure, but let me try to find a couple resources for you. Or I would suggest you go research that XYZ. You don't have to feel like every single question that gets asked that you've got to be the expert on. So don't let that prevent you from going and doing live Q&A. I know that when I work with my clients and my students, this one always terrifies them a little bit because 1, they're afraid no one's going to ask any questions, and 2, they're afraid they're going to get asked questions live that they can't answer. So gather questions ahead of time and don't fret about the questions you don't know the answer to. Just be honest. People will respect you for it. And guess what? They'll trust you more because you're honest. So the other thing I'll say is that you can also do a combination of those, but also maybe have a couple questions ready ahead of time that you kind of came up with that people ask you a lot, so that you have a couple questions in your back pocket just in case, that's kind of flat as far as the questions that get asked. So the other thing I'll say about live Q&A is that one of the best ways to do this and to help people come up with questions, because if you just say, hey, I'm answering questions, help people know what questions to ask. Give them some ideas about the types of questions you want them to ask. One of the ways you can do this is you can have a theme around your live Q&A. So, for example, there's a woman I follow. Her name's Amy Porterfield. She's a mentor of mine. I'm in her groups because I'm one of her students. And when she does her live Q&As, many times they're themed around something. They might be themed around a particular course that she's teaching, or they might be themed around a topic. So she teaches people how to grow their email lists. Then she also has programming where she teaches people how to create and launch online courses. And so she may have a theme each week during her course Q&As where it's like, hey, this week, ask me whatever you want to ask me about lead magnets, right? This week, ask me whatever you want to ask me about webinars. And so you can create themes as well, which actually will help people kind of get their mind around a topic. And so that's also another tip that I would recommend that helps people, coach them into asking a question. I have found in my past experience that if I just kind of open it up and be really random, I don't get as many questions. But when I'm real specific about what I want to talk about, then people ask more questions. It just helps them. I think it takes a little bit of overwhelm out for our audience. So that's what I had to say there. Now, back up to this one. The next really, really engaging, like super engaging, you guys, super engaging type of video, also really great for your organic reach, is to do an interview. So bring someone onto your live broadcast and actually do a topic, a discussion. You can do a Q&A with them. You can have them present something. There's so many ways you can do interviews. And I will tell you that an interview, in my stats, I have done interviews before, and anytime I've brought a guest onto a live broadcast, my organic reach for that broadcast is crazy. And then I also grow my audience, like big time. It always creates an uptick in my audience growth. And when I talk about audience growth, I'm talking about the people who like your page, like or follow your page. Now, we want this. We want to be growing. We want to be reaching new people. I think there's two reasons why the interview makes such a difference. One, people that you're interviewing a lot of times will share that they're going to be on your live show ahead of time. That brings their audience over. They also might share during the live video, which of course brings the audience over, and it just expands your reach. I will tell you, I also, this goes for podcasting or anything. So bringing guests on your show or you being a guest on somebody else's show always makes an impact. The other thing is that I think that when people come in and they on their news feed and they see your live broadcast and it's two people, they're like, wait a minute, who is Melanie talking to today? What's going on here? So they get very intrigued and very interested, and they're much more likely to click and check it out because they're kind of like, well, who's this person, right? We like talking to multiple people. We like socializing with multiple people, right? So literally, interviews are massive. Now, who do you bring on for your live Q&A or your interview? I like to bring on subject matter experts, one of my favorite types of people to bring on. Recently, I had Crystal Profit on the show, the live broadcast, so that she could talk about podcasting. She geeks out on podcasting. That is her jam, right? Like the way my jam is Facebook Live, her jam is podcasting left and right. So naturally, I have a podcast, right? And I know enough to like help you guys, but why not bring on somebody who literally spends their days geeking out and teaching and helping people with podcasting. So I brought Crystal on the show and she talked about podcasting. We talked about why we think podcasting is something that many businesses should explore. And we also talked about some strategies and some tips to help you think about starting a podcast. So amazing subject matter expert example right there. The other types of people you can bring on are customers. You can bring on customers and interview them. Now you can interview them to showcase how they're using your product, to help your people visualize how they might use your product or service. You can also interview them to share a success story. I'm actually probably going to be bringing John Mitchell onto a Facebook Live this Friday, and I want him to talk about his story about how he's been using Facebook Live. He's the guy I mentioned earlier with the Zateo coffee. So I actually want to bring him on and actually do a live interview with him and let him share his story, which will hopefully inspire you guys to get this going, right? To beef up this game and do this Facebook Live stuff. And so that's another example. He's, not necessarily a customer. I have definitely been helping him and coaching him and working with him, but he's somebody who's a user of something that I want to convince you to do, right? So that would be an example. And then of course you can bring on partners or any vendors of yours. So I'm going to use him as an example again, because he's kind of my star example right now. John Mitchell recently established a partnership with a local bakery in his community, and they've got like keto friendly stuff. And so he was talking about this. He made this announcement, right? And then he brought on the owner of that bakery the next day, and they did a little live interview, and he interviewed her about the products and stuff. So that's an example of bringing a vendor on as your guest in a live broadcast. So super, super, super great idea. Love it. So like I said, John's kind of my star student right now because he's like doing all the stuff I'm teaching you, and he's getting great results, and I'm really, really excited for him. So anyway. Okay, so another example, another type of video. This one is also really, really engaging, and people they kind of go crazy over these types of videos. This is where you go behind the scenes, okay? So you go behind the scenes and you share how you're doing something. Let me do something really fun here, really, really quick. I'm gonna try something really quick. Actually, no, I'm not, because I think it'll be a little tricky. I was actually going to change I was going to add another camera and I was going to show you my behind the scenes. But instead, what I'll do is I'm going to put my little pizza plate away really fast because I don't want you to see my quick lunch I ate right before this. Let me do a behind the scenes really quick and give you an example of what the heck I'm talking about. So behind the scenes would be me taking my camera, trying not to unplug it, and showing you my setup. So this is my awesome home office. You can see Addison's Legos over there on that cart all over the place. But I'm going to show you my setup here if I can get this cable to come around far enough. So there's my ring light that's helping my face look nice and bright, which is a tip I have too. Always use good lighting. There's my microphone. There's my slides that you're seeing over there. There's my mess a little bit over there, but there's my second monitor, which I totally recommend when you're going to do broadcasts like the one I'm doing, that you have a second monitor of what you're displaying on screen because it makes it a lot easier. This is the application I am using, Streamyard, and this is what it all looks like. Oh, I hope that didn't make anybody dizzy. So that would be me doing a behind the scenes. Now, an example for behind the scenes that would be interesting would be maybe while I'm doing a podcast, I would actually record a live video of me doing my podcast, recording my podcast and be like, okay, here's what I'm doing. And like record my little segments. And then maybe I hit pause and I say, okay, here's how I edit while I do my podcast. I edit as I go because that is actually what I do. I edit as I go. There's a couple ways you can do podcast editing, and that's one of those things. So, so that would be me doing a live video. If I did a live video while I'm doing my podcast recording, then you would see how I do it. You would see maybe the software. I could pause it and talk to you a little bit, right? And we could do that stuff. But what I just did, so Christine, funny she says that. She says, I need advice for the setup. Yeah, and I think you're talking about all of this, right? So here's the deal. Like you, if I do a behind the scenes video of my setup, then that teaches you something. It shows you. But people love behind the scenes, you guys, because you're watching me and you're like, man, her face is all lit up. Like I like her little thing. But you also saw I have my pretty flowers in the background and I've got my books and stuff that's pretty right here. But then you also saw like I got my sloppy functional part of my desk too, right? So it also does what? It lets you get to know me. I'm showing you my mess. It helps you trust me. Are you starting to pick up on my theme a little bit here? So, okay. I want to say hello to Lauren. She says she's here. Glad you're here, Lauren. I know that you had a client meeting today. So I'm glad that you're here catching all this fun stuff. Oh, we got another dabbler. So Brittany says she's dabbled. Okay, good. Yes, Brittany, come on, sister. I hope you take it seriously. Okay, so let's get back to it. I've got one more strategy. Okay, let me just say one more thing about behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, I think that sometimes people have a hard time coming up with ideas for behind the scenes. But here's what I'm going to say. Remember when we talked earlier about educating people or teaching them something? A lot of your behind the scenes videos are a bit that. They are you teaching and educating somebody on something. But if you are a coffee person, so John, again, Mitchell, Zateo Coffee, you guys, star student right now. He has been doing these live videos where he's been going live in his coffee shop and he's literally like got 2 cameras going, which you can do with Streamyard, okay? The application I'm using. And with some super simple basic instructions, you could be doing the same thing that John's been doing. But so literally, he's got 1 camera on him talking and he's got another camera down on the coffee bar where he's actually doing stuff. So let's say, for example, you want to teach you are a baker and you're baking stuff. Well, take us behind the scenes into your how you assemble all your stuff. If you're assembling product, if you're packaging product, any of those things, take us behind the scenes. Let us see what it's like so that when we get our products at the end, I want to know what went into it. So behind the scenes, again, sometimes it takes people a while to come up with the ideas, but literally think of it as you are pulling back the curtain. You are lifting up the hood. An example of behind the scenes, I sometimes do tutorials, as I mentioned earlier, it's teaching, right? But I believe that me pulling up my Canva, for example, which is a design application, and showing you my templates and how I use them is actually taking you behind the scenes a little bit, right? When I show you all this stuff, you got to get really creative here, but people love behind the scenes because they feel like they're getting a sneak peek or they're peeling back the curtains and they get to see something. People love it. They're very, very engaging types of videos. Okay. Last, we're on our 5th best type of engaging video. Now, this one is super fun. This one, I want you to think of the fun factor. Reveal something. So create a level of anticipation for people, or an element of mystery. And so some of the ways that you can do this, I gotta move my camera. I got my camera a little out of whack there, so I'm back. Okay, sorry. Okay. Bear with me. I didn't plan on going behind the scenes to talk about going behind the scenes, but I did, right? Okay, so reveal something. So I see a lot of nonprofits, for example, they will go live to do a reveal on how much money they raised during an annual campaign. Or anytime you want to, like, one of my favorite types of reveal something or create an element of mystery is to do an experiment. So be like, I'm trying something new today. We're going to just see how this works. I have, there's a local photographer here in Brittany. You might like this one. So we have a local photographer, and she does a great job. She will go live. She goes live a lot, but she will do these she'll go live while this is a combination. Okay. By the way, she'll go live while they're assembling. They do these metal prints, and they're really, really cool, but they are really, really complicated to put together. They're these collage of pictures that go on your wall, but they're literally printed. The pictures are printed on metal plates, like metal, and they look really, really neat. They're dimensional and all this stuff. Anyways, they get them in, and they always have this diagram, and then they have to assemble it all. And so a lot of times they'll do these live videos, and they're drinking wine and talking, taking questions, and they're assembling this stuff, but you watch it because you're kind of I want to see how this turns out. So she's doing two types. She's doing a behind the scenes, and she's revealing something. And so I hope that you also are starting to your gears are turning a little bit, and you're thinking, okay, here's the deal. I'm seeing that there's a trend here. A lot of these types I'm telling you about actually can be combination. So you can interview somebody and you can educate people at the same time, right? So keep that in mind. So the other thing that she does that I love is she had this issue with her projector. So she actually brings clients in, and when they select their photos from the photo shoot that they want her to actually go and edit and print, she pulls them up on a projector, and she does this really great presentation with music and all this stuff. And it's really important, this projector. The projector bulb went out. It was an old projector. So she had to, she literally went through 5 iterations of trying to repair her projector, between borrowing a projector, changing the light bulb. Then that didn't work, other things. And she would do these live videos, and you'd just be like, I wonder if it's going to work this time. She was just doing an experiment, trying to figure out if she can fix her projector, but it was really interesting, and she got a lot of engagement. It was a lot of fun. And again, you just got to know somebody. You just got to know her a little bit more, which makes you trust her more. And when you pick a photographer to spend all that money to do a photo shoot with, you definitely want to trust them, and you want to get to know them. So I loved that idea for sure. I talked to you guys earlier about the Facebook Live where I caught a bass on Facebook Live. I know, Lauren, if you're still watching, I know Lauren watched that video live. I actually remember it. But I talked about marketing, but I was fishing. And because someone had challenged me to do it, and I was like, okay, I'm up for a challenge. So I kind of just went out and had some fun. But the anticipation, the element of mystery is she going to catch a fish? And so I was able to keep all these people entertained and on the video wanting to know what was coming. And I was able to talk about marketing strategy, but I also kind of looped it in and created a metaphor of how fishing is kind of like marketing. You got to try all these different things, and there's different strategies, and depending on the fish you're getting and the time of year and all that other stuff, right? Anyways, that is that fun picture I showed in the beginning of me with that bass in my hand, because I did catch the fish on live video, and it was fun and it was memorable, and that's what we want to be. The last example I'll give you was totally not business related at all, but I cut my own hair. So obviously, pandemic, hairstylists, nobody can go to a hair salon and get your hair cut. All you long-haired people with no grays, you aren't really suffering. Us short hair people are really suffering. I get my hair cut every 2 weeks, okay? So it got to a point where I was tired of the mop on my head, and I took matters into my own hands, texted my stylist, and I was like, hey, I gotta cut my own hair. She's like, here's a video. Try not to screw it up too bad. And I cut my own hair on live video. And it created this huge element of anticipation. And it was an experiment, and it was definitely revealing something. And I did this on my personal page for fun, right? But it just goes to show you that the more you do stuff like this, and the more you do live video, the more courageous you get and the more fun you have with it. You find all these creative ways to like use live video to just connect with people. Right now, I haven't seen my friends in weeks. Literally. And I'm like, I miss people. So I want to talk with people. And so I'm like, I'm going to go live while I do this crazy haircut. Plus, if I screwed up my haircut and people then saw me, they'd know what happened. That was the other thing, right? Kind of like how I sort of screwed it up the other day because I forgot to put the guard on when I was doing a little trimmy trim. So yeah, that didn't work out so well either. Okay, so here's the deal. I also want to talk to you. Those were the 5 most engaging types of Facebook Live videos. Now, stay tuned, okay? I am going to share a link with you guys in the comments of this live broadcast that's going to take you to a page where you can download a worksheet to go through these types of video ideas and come up with a 15-week live video strategy. Literally, you're going to come up with a bunch of ideas and then you're going to plot them out and schedule them because you are going to start going live and you are going to use these examples that I gave you and you're going to use those 5 types of most engaging live videos and you're going to be doing them because you can do them. Anyone can do them. All you need is a phone to go live, but you can certainly go pro and do a lot of other things, of course, right? Now, the other thing that people always tell me is they don't want to go live. Okay, great, you just gave me a bunch of ideas, but I don't want to look foolish or make a mistake, right? The other thing people say is that they get overwhelmed by all the technology. These are supposed to be GIFs, by the way. They're not working today. They are funny. These slides are way more fun when the GIFs are working. I especially love this one right here. She grabs a bottle of wine and she's like chugging it. But people tell me they get overwhelmed by this stuff. These are the things that screw them up. So here's my suggestion. I think that you got to practice. You've got to get going live because you're never going to learn. You're never going to get over the nerves. You're never going to get over the jitters. You're never going to feel confident. You're never, ever, ever going to feel good about the technology unless you just get going with it, right? You've got to get going with it. And so I say practice. Practice in a private Facebook group. Go live by yourself. You can actually go live by yourself by changing the privacy settings on your phone to say only me instead of public, right? So get practicing, go live as much as you can. Now, I'm going to answer some questions here in a minute, but I do want you guys to know something. I see we've got a number of questions that I'm going to get to, but I am going to take this off. Oh, my goodness. My mouse is being ridiculous. There it goes. Okay. So I am going to pull something up. This would be the part of the presentation where I definitely had some fun slides. But today, instead, we are going to hold on. Let me get a little interactive here. I've got something I want to tell you guys about, and this is what it is. So I am putting together a boot camp. This is a Facebook Live boot camp where I am going to go through the strategy. You're going to learn a strategy. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do, how to go live. I'm going to teach you technology. I'm going to teach you equipment. You guys saw this setup here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about ways that you can get the same look and feel that I'm showing you without spending a bunch of money. So this is a 4-week boot camp. 4 weeks, okay? So week 1 is all about getting your strategy and your roadmap so you have a plan. Week 2 is training week. Heaviest probably. This is probably the heaviest week of the boot camp. We are going to talk about what you do before you go live, what you do during your live, what you do after you go live, because you don't want to waste your efforts. And there are definitely best practices. There's things to do and there's things not to do. We're going to cover those things. We're going to talk about how to look your best on video so that you have confidence. Again, people say, I don't want to look bad on video. I don't like how I look on video. I'm going to teach you the tips so that you can look and sound the best. I'm going to teach you very, very detailed, okay, how to use Streamyard. Streamyard is the application I am using right now. Streamyard is how I'm able to do all the fun stuff I'm doing like this, right? All this stuff, as well as things like this. Get your questions ready because I'm going to do some Q&A here at the end. I can do all kinds of fun stuff. I can show my logo in the top corner. I can change the overlays if I want to be something else. Right? All kinds of fun stuff. Remember that countdown in the beginning? All that stuff you do with Streamyard. You can do interviews with Streamyard. And so I want you to know that this bootcamp also includes very detailed how to use Streamyard, which is a free application. Yes, you can pay for other features, but you can absolutely use the free application. I know we have a couple of Streamyard users in our audience, Jason says StreamYard is awesome. I know that Christine, I think, or somebody said, or maybe it was Cynthia, she said she's using StreamYard as well. So here's what I will tell you. I'm going to teach you how to use StreamYard, but I'm going to teach you how to do stuff. I'm going to also give you templates. Let me clean up my look here. Templates for the overlays, all that stuff I just showed you. I'm going to give you templates for that so that you can go create your own brand experience if you want. So yes, I'm talking about StreamYard a lot because it's kind of important, because it is literally one of the big pieces that we're going to be using, because the way that you do a lot of those videos I showed you, a tutorial, share your screen, right? Show me how to do something. Bring a guest on, do an interview. You can bring 5 people on if you want to. With StreamYard, you can have 6 people on screen at once. You can do a virtual presentation. You can do a virtual conference with StreamYard. You can do these interviews with StreamYard. You have to use a third-party application to do interviews. You cannot do it natively anymore in the app. So all this stuff I was talking about, create that engaging branded experience, StreamYard will do that. So yes, we're going to spend a lot of time using StreamYard, and I'm going to teach you how to use it so that you can get the best out of it. Again, with those, I'm going to give you a template for the custom overlays. Annie, another StreamYard user, she says, StreamYard's been so much fun. So again, StreamYard is awesome. Okay, back to what I was saying. We are also going to talk about the equipment options that you have. These are optional, okay? So this mic, the super fancy mic that I'm using, is optional, but I am going to talk to you about it. We're going to talk about ways that you can very easily sound and look amazing on your live videos. Remember how I talked to you about how John did the thing where he had one camera pointing at the coffee bar, the other camera pointing at him? We're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to talk about the equipment you need to do that. And I will tell you another thing, okay? Look me in my eyes when I say this to you. I am not going to recommend anything super expensive, because we got to be scrappy, okay? And I'm scrappy, you're scrappy, let's be scrappy together, okay? So just, I wanted you to see that from me. I am not going to recommend anything. I will never recommend anything that costs a ton of money, okay? But we are going to talk about options for it. So this week 3, I am going to inspire you. I'm going to show you what capabilities are out there so that you can start to come up with ideas. This will let you plan for your future with live video. If you do, there are ways you can go bigger. There are ways you can create bigger productions, and you can do it. And we will talk about that stuff. And then we are also going to do implementation week. So you will be going live regularly with a plan ready to go by week 4 of this boot camp. Now, something I want to tell you about throughout the entire boot camp, throughout the whole thing, you are going to get live Q&As with me, and you're going to get coaching and support. This is going to be done inside of a private Facebook community where we will be going live and practicing. So you will be practicing inside this small group, okay, with just a few other students that you can go into. Think of it like a little mastermind that you're going to be in, okay? And you will be practicing your live videos in there. So you say, Melanie, I want to practice doing an interview. Great. Pull me in. Let's do it. Interview me. Let's go. Practice it. And I will coach you, and we will talk about what to do. Because of this interaction, you can also observe what other people are asking questions on, and you're going to see that live group coaching aspect there. So you're going to learn from each other's experiences. But again, like I said, the best way to get going with live video is to get going with it. And I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable, like they feel naked. They're like, oh my God, you're telling me to go try something brand new I've never done before. How do I do that and get good at it and be ready to kind of go to market with it? Well, tell you what, this is why I created this solution, because I get this all the time. People don't feel comfortable. They want to be taught, they want to be trained, and they want to be able to practice and get some feedback. That's exactly what this boot camp is. That's the whole goal of the boot camp, is to get you going live practicing. But I'm going to train you and give you all the best practices to make you feel confident so that you are going to be ready to go. So that by the 4th week, you are going live, and you will be going live weekly on your own business pages or in your own private Facebook communities or wherever you want to go live, okay? So you're going to be practicing and getting feedback from me, but by the 4th week, you're going to be, I'm sending you out, and you are going to go live publicly. But because we still have that last week, you get to go out and go live and come back and say, okay, here's what I did, here's what happened, what would you do about this, or what do I do next? So you're still going to have me, and you're still going to be able to kind of come back to me. You can start going live week 1 if you want publicly on your page. I don't care. But the whole point of this is a support group. You're going to get training, and you're going to get support from me and coaching from me in this group. So here's the deal. Enrollment is open right now. So I'm going to put this fancy little ticker up here. Boom. It's open right now. This program starts next Monday, and it is a 4-week program. So enrollment closes on Friday at 5 p.m. Okay, so I would love to invite you into this opportunity. You do not have to join me in this opportunity if you do not feel that you want to. But if you are ready to start going live and take it seriously and get results to grow your audience so they can like, know, and trust you, and so that you can get more people, impact more people with your products and your services, then let's do this, okay? I want to invite you into this boot camp. I want you to join us. And so it's $197 for the entire month. You get me, live coaching, live Q&A for only $197 for the entire month. So training. So it's kind of like you're taking a course and you're getting support and you're getting consulting and coaching and you're getting accountability because of the other peers in your group. Okay? So this is the part where you are going to say, okay, I have questions, or if you have questions, I want you to know you can either DM me or you can send me an email at hello@melaniediane.com. Or just get your butt in there, okay? Just get your butt in there, because here's the deal. Fast action bonus. Anyone that enrolls tonight in this program, okay, is going to get a 30-minute one-on-one, just the two of us, consultation, okay? You will get a 30-minute consultation where I will actually help you do your goal setting and I will help you with your strategy. We will sit down one-on-one and we'll talk about your business, and I will do a rapid fire and we'll come up with that 15 weeks of scheduled live videos, okay? So if you enroll today before the end of the night, then you will get that 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me. I am not putting that anywhere else. You are gonna hear about it here, and you know now. If you enroll tonight, that's what you get, 30 minutes one-on-one with me. Nobody else around. You can ask me whatever you want. But I would say that what I would want you to use that time for is to go through, let's talk about your business and let's talk about your ideas and let's get them on paper. Boom, okay? That strategy. You'll have that strategy going into this boot camp, you'll be that much more set up for success, okay? You gotta have a plan or plan to fail, right? It's a super cliche thing, but it is what it is, right? So here's the deal. I am going to do some Q&A now. So I wanted to let you guys know about this. Oh, I should probably tell you how to enroll. Is that right? You can either just go to my website right now, melaniediane.com. You will see it right there. Just scroll down a hair and it's there. Or go to this page, melaniediane.com/live bootcamp. And you can go to the page that I am showing you here and you can enroll in the program. Okay? So that is it. Sorry, remove myself from my stream. Let's do questions. So let me go back. I know I had some really great questions. Real fast, what days and time? So here's the deal. It's a whole month-long program, okay? So when you enroll, you're gonna get an agenda. All the content will be taught inside of a private Facebook community. So the trainings will be done via live video, and then they will be converted to what's called a unit. So even if you're not able to attend live, you just watch and go to do the unit, and you finish the unit, and it says, yeah, you finished the unit. So all the content will be there. I should probably go ahead and say as well, really quick, that the group will be active. I will be active in the group for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, the group will be archived, but you'll still have access to all the content for 90 days. So literally 30 days and then 60 more days, you actually still get access to all of the content. And so if you want to go back and rewatch something, go rewatch a training, go rewatch a Q&A, any of those times, you can absolutely do that. But at the end of the 30 days, the group gets archived, and then you just can rewatch all the other stuff. So you'll still have access to everything. So yes, so it's 4 weeks. It starts Monday. It's an entire month. We go through all that stuff I just described. You'll see all that stuff on the page, the enrollment page as well. But that's a great question, and thank you, because again, I had this information on a beautiful few slides of my PowerPoint that decided to go corrupt, which was not cool. Okay, so I want to go back and answer some questions really quick. So I know I had a question from Anna. Let's see here, going up. And the other thing that Streamyard can do, by the way, is pull up the questions as you've seen me doing, which I love to do because I like to pull questions up as I get the question. And this is a great way to do those live Q&As. So she says, make it so you can see me. Do people go back and watch Facebook Lives? I've never done that in my life. Or maybe once if I knew someone was going to answer a question of mine and told me they'd answer it in their live. Yeah. So it really just depends. people do watch the replays. In fact, the viewership of your live videos, many times more people watch the replay than the amount of people that tuned in live. That just happens because of scheduling. People just, their schedule, right? They may be more able to tune in live and they'll watch the replay. Now, this goes back to in week 2, the training that we're going to talk about what to do during your live video. We're going to talk about how to help those people that watch the replay actually watch the replay instead of jumping in and jumping out. And there's definitely some best practices when you're doing a live video to get more views on the replay, for sure. So great question. But to answer your question, do people do it? Yes. People will go back and watch a replay. Does everybody? No. You say, for example, Anna, that you've never gone back and watched a replay. So, well, Anna, I would say that it just depends on the actual live video. If it was something that you were interested in, for example, there's going to be people that watch this replay. In fact, there were people that responded to my email that I sent out to my email list about this training and said, oh crap, I've got this going on, but I'll definitely catch the replay. And so they know, and because they're interested in the training. So if it's something that interests you, then they'll want to watch it. The other thing I'll say about live video is that a lot of people like watching the replay so they can fast forward if they want to. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So Jason says, is there a best time to go live? I've tried several times and not sure what works best. So Jason, there are definitely some like recommended times of day, but here's what I will tell you. I like what you're doing where you say you've tried several times because that is one of the best ways. For example, so I've done a happy hour inside my Facebook group at like 4 o'clock on Friday. And like nobody's there. You want to know why nobody's there? Because they're actually at a happy hour, or they're literally winding down and they're done. They're done, right? So if I want to do a happy hour, I might have to do it earlier in the day on Friday. So you just have to try things and see what works. I personally find that midday, lunchtime-ish, for whatever reason, tends to work pretty well for people. Anytime between that 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock time during the day. Now I'm on Eastern time. That just tends to work for people. But here's a little tip. I'll give you a little free tip here. If you schedule your live videos ahead of time and you tell people before what time you're going live, you will get more people that tune in. It is a known fact that if you announce your live video and you let people know ahead of time when you're going live, they are more likely to tune into that live video because you've told them about it. And then when they see it, they're like, oh yeah, he's going live today at 11. With Streamyard, you can schedule a live video so that it pulls up that it actually says, Jason plans to go live on Friday at 11 a.m. and they can click get reminder. Just like if you're in my email list, we tried to do that. So that is a great question. And you really just have to kind of practice it and just try it out, try other things and see what works for you. And then once you get there, I would recommend you stick with a consistent schedule. So Jason, maybe you do a Q&A on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, you do a physical training exercise demonstration. And, because you can go live more than once a week, you guys. I recommend you do at least once a week, but you can go live more than once a week. Okay, I have another question. Let's see. So Melinda says, for Q&A, can I do a split screen with an artist from my Oanda, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not, Melinda. My Oanda art gallery or contractors with my design firm. Yes, you can, sister. You totally can. In fact, I think you obviously answered that question before. I talked a little bit about that, but you can use StreamYard and you can bring people you can have up to 6 people, for example. There are other applications, by the way, besides StreamYard that will let you bring guests on. But I just think it's super easy. It's plug and play. You enroll, you turn it on, and you're ready to rock and roll. But yes, to answer that, you can absolutely bring people on that are in different locations, wherever they are. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for questions. I'm reading a couple things here. Got it. Okay. I'm reading old things here. Questions. I know I thought I had, here we go. Anna says, how to look good on Facebook despite my new COVID look. Well, here's the deal. Like I said, I'm definitely going to, in this boot camp, we're going to talk about things to think about for your background. We're going to talk about how to get good lighting, not necessarily purchasing lighting. We are going to talk about some options if you want to purchase lighting. And then, of course, how to sound good, regardless of whether you have a fancy microphone or not, right? So for sure. Oh, Crystal, you're so sweet. I love me some Crystal Profit. She's a sweetheart. I talked about Crystal earlier and how she's, how I want her in my, or how I had her in my Facebook interview. And Crystal and I are buddies. But man, Crystal, if you're thinking about podcasting, you guys, go check out Crystal Profit. She is the one to learn podcasting from. So, you guys, so that's what I got. I don't see any more questions. Like I said, you guys, I would love to see you guys in this boot camp. I have been talking about doing this boot camp for way too long. And I have taught Facebook Live in workshops here in Muncie, Indiana, and part of my programming, as an element in my workshops. But this particular program is a month long. I'm excited because one of the things I find is that I teach people stuff and in a workshop and then we go away. But guess what happens? Then they kind of are on their own again. And so the reason I am doing this very differently than I thought I would in this 30-day boot camp is so that I can continue to work with you, because I'm going to teach you something. You're going to learn something. And then you're going to have questions, or you're going to go try something. And then you're going to come back and say, okay, that wasn't quite what I expected. Here's what happened. What do I do? Or I get to be there with you. I get to help you on this little journey. And literally, but I know and believe that 30 days is all you need. In fact, I will tell you, if you are ready to be a badass and really go after it, you don't need 30 days. You can do this. And by the end of the 30 days, I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel good. I want you to have a setup that you like and you believe in. I want you to have a plan so that you know, hey, I'm doing live video every week and I've got my plan set up. But I also want you to consider doing a blitz. Remember I talked about how I went live 30 days in a row, multiple times? Well, you know what that did for my business? It skyrocketed my page followers 60%, you guys. I got a 60% increase in my followership during that month where I went live every day for 30 days. Massive, massive, massive impact. You don't have to do a 30-day blitz, but you could do a 6-day blitz. Maybe you're getting ready to launch a program. Maybe you're getting ready to go to market with something. Maybe you're getting ready to reopen your store because the pandemic requirements are now changing. Do a blitz. Let's do a Facebook Live blitz and let's do a bunch of different stuff all together. Like literally, when I say blitz, I mean you do a video every day for like a week, okay? If you want to do that and that's one of your goals, let's establish that as a goal and let's get in this boot camp and let's make that happen. Okay, I want to make that happen. I also think that the other thing I love about this boot camp is that it's going to be a community. You're going to be in a learning community. You're going to have other peers going through this with you, cheering you on, helping you out. It's a supportive, encouraging community, but also an accountability community. The other thing that's going to be fun about it is when you're ready to go live publicly on your page, you're going to let our community know, and they're all going to be like, hey, I'm going live on Friday. Would love to have some support. All of us are going to be there hanging out with you while you're going live and cheering you on. Okay. So I'm passionate about this. I hope you can feel and see that coming through because I have seen the results. I've seen my friends get results with live video. I've seen my mentors get results with live video, and I've had results of my own with live video. And I know it can work. We have got to be scrappy, but that doesn't mean it's got to be crappy, okay? So come into this boot camp and let's not be crappy. Let's have some fun together and let's go live and let's do it and literally feel good about it, okay? So, all right. Oh, I got a question again. I got a question from Anna. Okay, real quick. And Crystal says, you can use your Facebook Lives as podcast episodes. Yes, she's so right. So if you do have a podcast, that is definitely an awesome feature. You can actually record a Facebook Live and you can turn it into a podcast super easily. Okay, so Anna says, can you talk about being live on Facebook, on Instagram? Also, a blitz would kill me. No, Anna, you can do it. So Anna, so you're talking about Facebook Live versus Instagram, I think. So this particular program, okay, the boot camp, I want to be specific. We are going to be using Facebook as our platform, but here's what's really great. Let me tell you something. You can go live on Instagram as well. So I don't know if you know that, but you can actually open up your Instagram. So if you do a lot of content on Instagram, you have a lot of followers over there, you should totally think about doing live video on Instagram, okay? You can take a lot of the stuff that you're going to learn in this bootcamp and apply it to your Instagram live videos. But I will tell you this, I want you to actually start doing live video on Facebook. The experience is different. The expectation from our viewers is different. Instagram live video absolutely can work. For example, you can bring an interview, you can bring somebody on without using any application. You can do a live Q&A. You can show people how to do something. You can use all those tips I gave you today and do those types of live videos in Instagram. But for this particular program, we're focused on Facebook, and you can take a lot of the stuff I teach you and apply it to your Instagram lives. That's fine. But we are specifically talking about Facebook. The other thing I'll say is that all the stuff you learn here, including Streamyard, you can apply to a YouTube live strategy or a LinkedIn live strategy. Streamyard will actually allow you to broadcast to Facebook, your personal page, your business page, a Facebook group, or YouTube or LinkedIn if you are approved for LinkedIn Live. Soon, I hope to God they let us all have LinkedIn Live, but right now you have to apply and you have to wait to get approved for it. But it will let you simulcast to like all of those channels. You can simulcast to up to 5 locations. Now there are different tiers. You have to pay for that particular part of StreamYard. But literally, like right now, I am broadcasting on my business page and inside of a Facebook group because I'm able to do that. I the other day did a broadcast on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page. Okay, so I am now looking at embracing a little bit of YouTube Live because I do have some followers over there. Ironically, I'm not a YouTuber, but why not reach that audience? They're there, right? Why not try to grow that audience too? So again, we're going to focus on Facebook because I do believe that is one of the best platforms to use live video. I also believe it's the best platform to get started with. But Anna, to answer your question, it is different, but it's not necessarily what this program is. She says, and I mean, is it okay to talk about going on Facebook while using the IG app? Oh, okay, yeah. I think what Anna's talking about is being on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. I know that there are pros and cons to that. I don't always recommend it because it confuses people. And the way that people are interacting, they can't see each other's interaction. But it can work as long as you just make sure you have a particular focus for it. In fact, I know John Mitchell, for example, he's been doing a broadcast on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. You have to use 2 separate devices to do that. And then Anna says, thanks. And it's hard to type fast. I mean, like, can I tell my followers on Instagram to go check me out on YouTube? Heck, yes, you can. 100% yes. Anna, you can absolutely promote your content that's happening on Facebook to your Instagram community. I would recommend you do that with your IG stories. I wouldn't necessarily make a post in your Instagram. If you do, make a post, but then maybe remove it later because a lot of people like to look at that Instagram post past, if you will, kind of as a little sampling. And if it's something that was timely and happened before, they're not going to care about it. So use your Instagram stories. You can absolutely say, hey, I'm going live later today. Join me over on Facebook. Click the link in my bio. You might have a link tree, a link over there for all that stuff. So yes, great question for sure. So Lauren says she's enrolled. Woo! Lauren is enrolled. All right. I'm excited. I'm so pumped about that, Lauren, to have you in the boot camp. That would be so much fun. So yay. Okay, we have another question. Annie says, can StreamYard be used to go live on Instagram? I couldn't figure that out. So Annie, the answer to that is no, it cannot. In fact, no third-party applications can go live on Instagram because Instagram right now has blocked that in their API. API is really just a very technological term for how software applications have intercourse. That's the best way I can say that, just because that makes sense, right? So they actually have blocked that. Basically, they put a chastity belt on, and they have blocked that function. So no third-party apps can do that. And there's a couple reasons. They have actually said, they've gone to record to say that the Instagram user experience is very different than the Instagram user experience for Facebook and other channels. And that's why they actually, for example, they don't want this kind of broadcast done on Instagram. They've literally said they don't want this kind of broadcast over on that channel. They don't feel that that's what the users want, and that they say you should use Facebook for that. And as we all know, Facebook owns Instagram, right? And so we've got that. But they just want Instagram to be very different. They want the user experience to be very different because the people and think about when we are using these platforms. When we're using Instagram versus when we're using Facebook, it is a little different. We're kind of getting a little bit of a different, we're getting a little bit of a different thing from it. It's kind of like drinking a craft beer versus drinking a glass of wine. We're definitely still relaxing, winding down, hanging out, maybe getting a little buzz, but it's different. It's a different experience, right? And so that's kind of, I guess, the way to put that I would say. So yeah, but Melinda, I'm glad you were here. I hope that the way I answered your question made sense about your Q&A that you want to do. I think you should totally do that, by the way, and it would be super exciting. But thanks for being here. So you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. All right. So as I said, the bootcamp enrollment is open until Friday at 5 p.m. I'm going to go live again here talking about more live video stuff throughout the rest of the week. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing John Mitchell on, and we're going to talk about his experience with live video because, like I said, he's getting like so many great. He has sold workshops. His coffee shop is for the most part closed. He's still selling coffee. He's been selling coffee to people all over the country. He did a workshop. He promoted that workshop on his live broadcast, and he sold. He basically sold coffee and his workshop because of this Facebook Live. He was able to promote it and sell it that way. And so he's getting great results. And I keep saying it. All those ideas and all those engaging types of videos, that he's doing all of them. And so I want to bring him on and actually just interview him and just have him share his story about how he was not going live before, how it's totally changed the image of his business, and how he's actually getting financial results because of it. And it's helped him stay connected to his people when he literally can't see people coming in and out of his coffee shop. And so it's huge. And so I can't wait to bring John on. That's going to be on Friday. So stay tuned in here for sure. I will be doing additional teaching, more Q&A. If you got more questions about Facebook Live, don't hesitate to ask them. If you have any questions about this bootcamp that I am putting on, send me an email, send me a DM. Whatever you want to do. If you've got questions, I will send you a personalized video response to your questions about this bootcamp. But I would love to see you in there. I would love to see you guys all going live and getting these great results, getting more engagement, growing your audience so that you can make a bigger impact in the world. Because my biggest thing is you all have gifts to share. Whether it be your businesses and your products and your services, or just you, right? You have a gift. And I don't want your gifts to go ungiven. And so I want you to put yourself out there authentically. And I truly believe Facebook Live is the very best way to do that. I'm very passionate about this, which is why I put this program together, and I want to help you make a difference. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And I hope to see some of those friendly faces inside of the bootcamp. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.